Good afternoon. A little bit of a walkthrough of the garden. Have a look at the trellis that we're partway through making. Check up on the bees, and then have a bit of a chat. So to begin with, we are looking at the Australian native bees. They've basically gone away for the night, but there's still a few right at the entrance there. They're the guard bees. There's still a couple coming back. We've just seen one go in then. During the day, these are... got a horsefly flying around my legs, sorry about that. During the day, these are coming and going, a few every second. So they're looking really well. We'll go up and have a quick look at the European honeybees. Those girls should still be flying. They go to bed a lot later. Yep, still plenty coming and going. Moved these guys up to a full-size brood box 2 weeks ago. I had a quick peek in there the other day. They're doing really well. I'm going to grab the first honey super next week, and we will probably put it on, I'd say next Friday. So hopefully they will have filled out the extra 5 frames in this one and then moved on to the honey super as soon as we get it in there. Exciting. We should be getting some honey partway through summer, I'd guess. Yeah, pretty happy with how they're going so far. They've also been super nice and gentle bees. Pop back out. We have the compost bin. I haven't looked in here for a couple of days actually. This is the one that we got for free because of the council rebate. Yeah, it's really gone down. Not sure if any of you guys were here before, but last time, but that was jam-packed. So we'll just get back to topping that one up. And then we will continue around the garden. We have the pumpkin patch here, which was an old concrete slab for a garden shed, but we have covered it with straw so the pumpkins have a place to grow. We did have a pumpkin here, but it's not, you can't actually see it now, it's all shrunk up. It looked like it was going to grow, but I'm guessing it didn't get germinated. There are a few others, real little ones in amongst here. I was going to put this straw in the garden as mulch. I'm glad I didn't, because we've got all this grass coming up, so I'll compost it down before I put it into the garden. So a bit of a learning curve. If you're going to be using straw as mulch, make sure it doesn't have any seeds in it before you do. Over the back there we have lemongrass that's in a pot, because otherwise it would take the entire garden. So we'll let that grow. Once it fills out the pot, we'll harvest it all, share it around and repot it, rejuvenate the soil, pass some around for people to eat, pass some around for some people to grow, even just in a small pot that it's in. It's too much for us to eat. Beside that pot is sweet potato. There's only one sweet potato plant in there. I would generally plant probably 5 in that pot there, but we're just sort of getting right back into gardening, so I'll check that I like them. I'll take the slips from that plant, which is how you propagate sweet potatoes, and plant them if I do enjoy them. So next season we will have plenty of potatoes. Hi guys, welcome to the chat. Thanks for the comments and the likes. AMP World, had a raspberry, hi. It's basically Steve. Yes, these are pumpkin. The variety is called Australian Blue. We're in Australia, southeast Queensland. Wish my pumpkin plant looked like that. Yeah, it's growing really nice. It's coming up to the end of spring here in southeast Queensland. It's planted on a concrete slab that was for an old garden shed. Well, it's planted in the garden, but then set out to grow onto the old concrete slab covered in straw. Currently it's looking really nice, but we're only just starting to get the little pumpkins, so we're waiting to see if they're germinated, pollinated or not. The sweet potato is growing well, but it is only one plant, as I said, so it won't be a huge harvest, but we'll be able to then plant as many as we need, as long as we like that variety. The lemongrass behind it, and as we move around to the actual garden, we have a lemon tree. There's parsley planted all over our property. My daughter loves it and my wife loves it, so we can never have enough. That's where the pumpkin plants are hooked in. That's all the male flowers there dying. There's a few little females underneath, so we'll see if that's what it looks like in the coming weeks. Hopefully they start growing. The corn was doing really well. We harvested a couple of cobs, and then an animal's got into it and has eaten all the corn. Peeled it back and been eating it, so it's disappointing. But we'll put a camera down here, see what it was, and work out a way to stop it for the next lot. Moving down, we have beetroot down the bottom, an orange tree in the pot, which will have its own spot in the garden later this year, and a mandarin tree behind it. Then we have a zucchini plant. It's growing nice. It's actually starting to vine out. Sometimes we'd put it up on a trellis. This time we're just going to run it down around on the ground. There's one in there that hasn't been pollinated, and a bunch of flowers, so they'll be coming soon. This is a tomato plant on a lean and lower trellis. It's almost at the top, which means we'll start having to lower it. We will remove some of the leaves from the bottom, so it's just a trunk that has a bit of a bow in it, and we'll let that continue to grow up. We've planted some basil in there today. It's a good companion plant for the tomatoes. Supposedly keep some of the pests away, which we need, because we have things like this which are bored into the tomato. Most of them are still nice, but there's a couple with some problems on them, so we will give it a spray with something natural and work out how we can keep the tomatoes going. That's one of the tomato plants. We have another one further down. As we pop into the main section of the garden, this little is just herbs, more parsley, some thyme. Buried in there is garlic chives. They seem to be super hardy, so I'm not worried that the cucumber plant is growing over it at the moment. It will either continue growing in the shade or it will recover. We have cucumbers. They're growing really nicely. We've been harvesting a few of those. Still a lot more flowers and a lot more little ones growing, so looks like we're going to be getting a great harvest out of the cucumber plants. And onions, we've planted them very late in the season, so they're little, but we are picking baby onions. We're still using them, using the greens instead of shallots or scallions, but using the onions as well. The leafy greens have all gone to flower, so we are letting them flower and go to seed. We will collect the seeds from the ones that we enjoy. Ones that we don't, we will cut them off and pull them out, or just cut them off probably at ground level. Most of the rocket is still growing nicely. It's only one or two of the plants that have gone to flower of the rocket. This is another tomato plant. This one is a bushing variety. There is lots and lots of tomatoes growing in here. These ones look nicer than the last plant. There's a couple there with some problems, but overall, so far, this one's looking really, really nice. Mint, if you're going to plant mint and you haven't done it before, definitely put it in a pot. If you don't, it will take over the entire garden. It sends out underground runners and takes over the entire garden. We learnt that years ago in our first garden, a rookie mistake. But yeah, if you're planting mint, put it in a pot. We got strawberries as well. We started a little bit late this season. We didn't start until we were actually in spring. I would normally have started about a month earlier, but we were letting the passion fruit vines finish off their harvest. We have put a new trellis up, well, started to put it up today. So these strawberry plants realistically are just here to propagate for some new ones for next season. We're still getting a few little ones, like the one I just showed you there. I'm just going to eat that one. They're really nice. I quite like the smaller varieties. I feel like they're a lot sweeter, less prone to bugs and stuff. I think it's that they ripen faster. They've gone red. It's too hot for them, but we're just hardening them up. We'll keep these through the year, through winter. They'll come up again and they'll be really nice. You actually see here the mint popping up on the edge. That's from an underground runner in the pot. That's what it'll do in the garden, but it'll go the whole way. User RD4KL. Nuts, how far ahead your plants are than ours in New Zealand. I'm jealous. I think we get a bit warmer here faster than you guys over there, but I'm sure your plants are coming along nicely. This one here is coriander. It has gone to flower. We really liked it. It's interesting to see the difference in the leaves. These leaves down the bottom are the original leaves, the ones that you'd eat. And then when it starts going to flower, you get these leaves, which are completely different. They're on the branches that have the flowers. So once they've all dried out, we will collect those. You can eat it as a spice, but we will eat it, we will save them for next year. Beside, what else have we got? There's leafy greens, cucumbers, another cucumber I can see in there that I didn't see from the other side. Some more basil. This is a long, sweet yellow capsicum. They weren't very imaginative with the names. They're long, they're yellow. Well, they're starting to yellow up now, and I'm guessing they're going to be sweet. We've got 2, I'd say, to harvest in the next couple of weeks, and lots more little flowers. So we'll get some more off that one. This is purple king beans. These are fantastic. First time I grew them this year. They are super easy to grow. We direct sowed them into the ground right where they are. They grew really fast, and we have been collecting heaps and heaps and heaps of beans from them. You can eat them raw, you can cook them up. When you cook them, they turn back green. If you haven't tried them and they'll grow in your climate, I'd definitely give it a go. They're called King Purple. Really nice. They have pretty little purple flowers and they grow huge. They're definitely nice, they're a bit smaller. But if you haven't picked them for a couple of days, you get beans like this. Some of them are even bigger than that. They still taste okay, but I much prefer this size. Alright, moving down. In here is our ginger. We bought it from the shopping centre, or Woolworths. I've noticed it's just starting to shoot through, which is exciting. Busted my knuckles cutting some timber today. So we bought a piece of ginger from the shops. We soaked it in water overnight. That was to remove any of growth inhibitors. We then half covered it and grew it, soaked it for another day, and then planted it in the ground really shallow. Mulched heavily over the top, and it's taken probably the dogs next door are a problem. It's taken probably 2 or 3 weeks, or at least 3 weeks, and it's just starting to pop up now, so I'm really happy with that. I haven't actually grown ginger before, so we will see how fast it grows, how well it tastes, or how good it tastes. This one here is a spaghetti squash. It was like a plant that we saved from the hardware store. It was almost dead when we got it. Brought it in, planted it, trimmed it right back. It's coming up really nicely. The flowers are looking good. I haven't got any squash on there yet that I can see, but lots of flowers, so they won't be too far away. Coming around the corner, the backyard's actually a bit of a mess. I've been building this trellis today. Step back so you can see it. So we're going to put some runs across there, and that's going to be the trellis for the passion fruit, and we will use the bottom there as a bit of a garden. So these pieces are just holding it straight while the concrete cures, and then the passion fruit vine, which has been all pulled out of the way, is going to get put up onto there to grow this season. Last season it grew and covered the entire garden. So with all the other plants in the garden this year, we don't have the winter spare to let it grow over the top. We will be planting here all through summer, winter. We can plant all year round. We don't have a season that we can't grow in. So the passion fruit needs its own space. It looks like it's in a pot, but the roots have gone through to the ground. So that is the passion fruit's new spot. Once I get it filled up, have a look here. We have a kookaburra. I'm guessing there is, I'm not sure what it's actually eating at the moment, but there is a blue kingfisher swimming around behind it. Flying around behind it. So I'm not sure what it's watching. Maybe it thinks I've got some food for it. Oh, there it goes. Up into the tree. Excuse the dogs next door. That is a kookaburra, an Australian native. Flying around behind it, which you can't really see, I don't think, is a kingfisher. Yeah, back around to the garden. So tomorrow I will take the supports off this one, drill some holes and put in something as a trellis. I'm not sure exactly what yet. I'm actually leaning towards just some rope. This is just built from stuff that we had around the house. So I think I'll just stick with what's around the house and use some rope. But the passion fruit we cut back extremely hard last year. That hard that I wasn't even sure it was going to grow back. But it has. It's kind of looking really nicely. And yeah, I'm going to put cardboard down here to kill the grass inside the lines. Put some soil over the top of it, some sugarcane mulch. I'll leave it set for probably a couple of months just to rest and get ready to plant. How is the garden going? The garden's going very well. This end is a bit empty. So passion fruit, spaghetti squash, the ginger's just come through. Tiny little sprout right in the middle there. So now that it's up, it should be growing really quickly in the sun. Purple king beans, they grow huge. There's one that I pulled off just before. They get even bigger than that. But the size that I like is probably about that big. It's really nice. If you haven't grown a king purple beans, I would definitely give it a go. Yeah, it filled up the area and it's growing up nicely on top as well. I won't let it go too far. I don't want it to shade out the rest of the garden, but we're collecting a huge handful of it every day. So that's really nice. I'll definitely keeping some seeds from that one to grow again. We have the long, sweet yellow capsicum. The onion plants in here are still growing. They're barely, not very well, but as I said, I'm not going to pull them out. I'll just plant around them. If they get suffocated out with other plants, that's okay. If they survive, even better. Some basil. This is a bushing variety tomato. Heaps of tomatoes on that one. We've had a bit of a problem with caterpillars or something digging in and eating the tomatoes, but I think we're getting on top of it. Coriander has gone to flower, so we will be collecting those seeds once they're ready. Strawberries and mint, they're just sort of growing to be ready for next season really. The leafy greens have gone to seed. We will be collecting the seed from a few of those. Some of them we like, some of them were a little bitter, so we won't take seeds from the bitter ones. Behind those are cucumbers. See a cucumber in there. We've been harvesting cucumbers already. So there's lots of little ones growing. Another 4 or 5 that are almost ready to harvest. So we'll have a bit of a glut of cucumbers at the moment. There is a capsicum plant in here. If you guys were here for when I first started planting these, you'll know that this plant got really attacked by bugs. So there's still a few leaves getting eaten, but I've sprayed it with some pyrethrum, I think it's called, and it's looking really nice now. There's a bunch of new flowers coming through, so I think we will get some capsicum from that plant. The onions are looking nice. We planted them really late in the season, so they're not going to grow to size, but we have been eating them as baby onions, they taste really nice, super sweet as onions go. Some herbs, some parsley, thyme. There's some garlic chives in under the cucumber there, but that grows crazy. I think it'll continue growing in the full shade. If it doesn't, it'll come back once we get rid of the cucumber plant. So that's a really nice one to have in the garden. Another tomato plant. It's on a lean and lower trellis. There's some nice tomatoes in here, but again, a couple of the pests have been getting to them. So we will keep an eye on it, see what we can do to fix that. Some more basil. There's sort of herbs planted all around the place. At the front there is wombok. I think we're in the wrong season. We didn't even look. We just bought it and put it in the garden. So we'll see if they come up or not. A zucchini plant after that one. Actually, I'm not sure if it's zucchini or squash. Zucchini. My wife's here, she's telling me it's zucchini. As we go down, we have beetroot growing here. We need to get more beetroot in the ground. I have a few seedlings going, but I definitely need more. An orange tree in the pot, a mandarin tree behind it. The one orange here. I don't think I'll let any more grow on that tree this season. It's only the first year that it's been fruiting. So I don't want to overwhelm the plant with the fruit, but I'd like to have a taste. So I will leave one on and I will cut any new ones that flower off this season. And now that I'm looking at it, I need to check that that branch is from above the graft. I'll have a look at that a little bit later. From here it looks like it is above the graft, but I'm going to be growing it as a tree, not a bush. So I'll probably chop that one off anyway. Past the beetroot, we have corn. Unfortunately, our corn has been eaten by something. So we've lost basically the entire harvest. We only got 2 cobs off before that has happened. So it's disappointing, but nothing we can do about it. Plan again and work out what the problem was and how to fix it. This one is a lemon tree with some parsley planted underneath. We have a sweet potato in this pot, lemongrass in that pot, and then our pumpkin patch. The pumpkins we're growing are called Australian Blue. So we haven't grown them before, but hopefully they are nice so we can keep some seeds for those as well. We have the Australian native bees. They will have gone to bed, but this is their hive. They're really interesting. We do have a couple of videos on those on our channel. Some compost bins. Up here are the European honeybees. They are still flying. They will fly all the way down until it gets dark. So they're a lot more productive than the native bees. If you're into bees, we've got a bunch of videos on those on our page. Have a look. If you're not, have a look at our gardening stuff. The backyard's a bit of a mess. I was building the trellis up the other end today, so I had to cut this branch down. Got some tools out, but overall it's been a great day. The weather here is fantastic. We are in southeast Queensland. The sun's gone down under the horizon. But we had a really nice day. Where are you guys from? What have you guys been up to? And are you growing anything? The garden's looking a little bit full in spots like this and empty in spots like that, but we've got lots of seedlings going, so once they are ready to plant out, I'll do a video of planting them. We've got lots of different things to go in. We've just been setting up this garden to plant all year round, so it's not one harvest and empty. It will be one plant finished and put a new plant in that spot. The backyard has a lot of changes coming. The first little one today was the trellis that you can see up the back there. Doesn't have anything in it yet, it's just a frame. I'll do that tomorrow for the passion fruit vine, but all of the grass here is actually coming up for more gardens and a nice entertainment area. But we have some big changes coming, some chickens coming. If you want to see any of those things, hit the subscribe button so you don't lose us in the algorithm. We're a family in southeast Queensland. On YouTube, we're only new to YouTube. Showing you guys our backyard and what we can harvest from it. It's not even just our backyard, we have food in our front yard as well. So yeah, most of our videos are about the garden and the bees. We also have composting worms that we breed for fishing. I haven't actually done a video on those yet. We have just reading some comments here. Entered you at where? Susie, we're from southeast Queensland in Australia. It's currently the end of spring. It will be summer here in a couple of weeks' time. Beautiful garden, thank you very much. I appreciate the kind words. Whereabouts are you from? Adrian's, Alan, Daya, hi, hello, welcome, nice to see you, nice to have you here. Summer in November. I live in California. It will be summer in December. We're in Australia, so yeah, we have summer through December, January, February, which is a lot different from the United States. We have a hot Christmas. Spend time at the beach or in the pool. If we can't get into one of those, it will be the air conditioning. It's raining so hard here. Here we have beautiful weather. There's barely any clouds. The sun's gone under the horizon, so that's the sunset over that way. We've had a fair chunk of rainfall for this time of year over the last couple of weeks. We don't have a couple of lives on some big storms that we had. Most of the time when it's hot here, we'll have extremely hot days for 3 or 4 days in a row. Then we will have a storm one afternoon Generally comes through about 3 in the afternoon, 3, 4, somewhere around there, sometimes a bit later. So we do lives when we do have a big storm coming through, but generally our weather here is perfect. I live in the coast next to the beach. We have great weather, but it's been cold lately. That sucks that it's getting cold, especially if you live near the beach. I love the water, I love the beach, and I love summer. I'm in the Philippines. Welcome from the Philippines. Thank you for being here. What crops do I have? Let's start. I'll do it. So down under over the side is passion fruit, which I've just built a trellis for today. It's the second year for the passion fruit vine. We've cut it back extremely hard, so you can't see it at the moment, but it will be coming back up and up onto that trellis in the coming weeks. It'll look really nice. It'll grow through until mid-winter and we will get fruit. The fruit's ready to pick at the start of spring or even a little bit before that. We have spaghetti squash. That one growing up tall there is king purple beans. Capsicum, which I think you guys might call, actually I don't know what you guys call that, aubergine, but I think that's eggplant. Maybe just bell peppers. We call it capsicum. In the pots here we have some strawberries and some mint, and behind it is a tomato plant. A couple of herbs mixed in there with that. There is leafy greens just here. It's too hot for the leafy greens now, they've gone to flower, so we'll be collecting the seeds from the ones that we like and leaving the ones that we don't, or cutting out the flowers of the ones that we don't so they don't self-seed. What type of tomato? This tomato plant here is a bushing tomato, so it's as big as it gets. They're a large one. I can't actually remember what it's called. They're really nice. There's heaps and heaps of them growing. And then we have another tomato plant here. This one is one that just keeps growing, so it's on a lean and lower trellis, which is basically just a string tied up onto some timber with some extra. So when it reaches the top, instead of cutting it off or being too tall, we just lower it down so we can continue working on the tomato plant. We have a few nice tomatoes, a couple of pest problems, but we're working through those. Some more down in here. So yeah, once it reaches the top, we just lower it down a bit further, cut some of the leaves off the bottom, and that's really nice. We have cucumber plants growing. We have some cucumbers that are almost ready to harvest. We've been eating cucumbers continuously off these plants. So lots of cucumbers. The Philippines just hit a typhoon big as the country. I think I actually seen that. Is your family and you guys, everyone okay there? It looked pretty crazy from what I could see. I'm glad you've still got the internet, which means hopefully there's still power there. These are onions. We planted them way too late in the season, so they're not going to get to size. We've left them bunched up. We're just picking baby onions, using the greens, and then if we like them, we have lots more seeds, so we'll let a few go to seed. Plus we already have some more seeds, so we'll have plenty left for next season. It's just about to get too hot here to grow lots of things, so we've got to be real picky with what we're going to grow through summer. This end is just herbs really. We've got parsley, thyme, garlic chives in under there. The cucumber plant's growing through the back. I'll have to just double check that that's not going to get in the way of the tomatoes. Some wombok, we planted it today. It's the wrong time of year. I'm not convinced we'll even be able to pick them, but we had them, so they're in the garden. Zucchini plant, beetroot at the front, citrus at the back. There's an orange plant and a mandarin plant. Past that is corn, but something's got into our cobs and eaten them all. So that's a bit disappointing, but we've got probably another 3 lots of corn growing times this year, well, until the end of summer, so we'll just fix that up for next time. A lemon tree. The wife's been out picking some lemons. There were some ripe ones down here that are no longer there. Still a couple that are getting close. And then after that is a pumpkin. This is Australian blue pumpkin. What country do you live? I live in Australia. We're in the southeast Queensland, Australia, which is on the east coast. We have sweet potatoes. Testing out a new variety. Hopefully we like them. If we do, we will take a lot of these slips, plant them, and get a nice big harvest going next season. Well, there is not really a season here, they just grow all year round. And then behind that is lemongrass. That is majority of what we're growing in our garden at the moment. We have some pineapples in another garden. We have a grapevine. We have the passion fruit vine down the end. So really, it's just the first spring back into gardening. Healthy lemongrass, beautiful. Yeah, the lemongrass is growing really nice. We let it fill out the pot. Once it's finished, once it's filled out, we harvest the whole thing, rejuvenate the soil, and then replant some of the new ones in the middle, let it grow again, and continue it on. We'll pick it and use some through the growing cycle if we need it. What time is it there? Midnight. The time is currently 6:34 p.m. on Friday. I really appreciate the likes, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate anyone that has subscribed as well. If you're interested in the gardening here in southeast Queensland, it's a subtropical climate, so it might be the same as yours. We also do lives on any of the weather that comes through. We've had a few storms recently. 4:34 p.m. Oh, so you're not very far behind us at all, a couple hours. Hello from Sydney. Hello Mandy, thank you for being here. Just having a bit of a chat about the garden, what we do on the YouTube channel. Having a bit of a chat. How did you build the things over your garden beds? The roof up here, so it's just some posts, which is what the tin's screwed onto to make the actual raised garden bed, and then I've just put some fence rails around it and chicken wire. We did have gates on it originally. We had chickens running around the backyard, but I've removed the gates. The chickens have gone. The new chickens will not have access to this area, so yeah, it stops some of the bigger birds coming in. Alright, well, I'll jump off. It's getting late. I really appreciate everybody being here, having a chat. If you are still here, hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have a chat with you guys again. I'll jump on for another live in a couple of days' time. And then, yeah, I'd like to talk to you all again. Where are the chickens? The chickens that we had have gone to a different house while we were setting up some stuff here. We're going to get new chickens in the coming weeks. Coming months probably. They will be down there. You guys will get to see me build the chicken coop and introduce you guys to the new chickens. My name's Jay, this is Aussie Backyard Harvest, and this is my garden. Have a great day.